everyone, and welcome to another episode
Hello.
of the Pete and Fran podcast. Hi, Fran, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yes, I am well. I've had a good week. How about you?
Yeah, good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we mentioned last week, we are going to, we did watch two films today.
Yes.
One which you chose, one which I chose,
Mine was the better choice.
if you say so. We chose them with the express knowledge that the other person wouldn't enjoy them so much.
Yeah.
And that was so we could discuss them later and talk about why we hated them or loved them, as the case may be.
Okay.
So you chose for me The Longest Ride, starring Clint Eastwood's kid.
And what's his name?
Luke Eastwood?
No! You've forgotten, haven't you?
John Eastwood?
No, you said it earlier.
Chris?
Oh my god.
He
I
looks
can't remember now.
He looks like a Chris. Anyway. Clint Eastwood's kid. And a girl with a massive forehead. yeah. Brit.
She's very pretty though, isn't she?
I wouldn't say very pretty.
She's pretty enough though.
Brit Alexander, I think, is her name.
Oh, right. Did you not write that down?
I did, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
So, firstly, why did you choose this film?
Because I like it. It's not one of my favourites.
Right.
But if I wanted to put something on, say like after a night shift and I'd finish my night, put it on the telly, have a lay down, fall asleep with it on.
Like comforting to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not one of my most favourite,
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, the film I chose isn't my favourite film. It was a film that I chose because I knew you wouldn't like it.
Yes.
So, so why did you think I'd hate it?
I don't think you'd hate it. I just think you'd thought it was boring.
Well, you were right on that front. Was that the only reason you just thought I'd think it was boring?
Yep. And I wanted to make you sit through 2 hours of...
2 punishing hours of
I quite like
shit.
it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I like it.
So, describe the film for me.
So, there is this young lad, and he's a bull rider.
Mm-hmm.
And he obviously wants to be number one in Las Vegas, even though they only have bull riding in the US.
Well, yeah. It's called the World Championships of Bull Riding, even though clearly that's just an American thing.
And then there's a young lady, and he meets her at a bull riding competition. And basically, it's how they fall in love. But she has a love of art, and he doesn't understand it. Mm-hmm. And then there's like this background story of 2 older people. Mm-hmm. But basically, they helped this old man, and he was going somewhere to read a letter to his dead wife. And it's how they love each other very much.
Yeah, it's just a love story, basically, about a bull rider and a student of art who are brought together by the stories of an old man who
and
they rescue
lady.
from a car accident. Yeah. Why do you like it?
It's easy to watch. He's good looking, obviously.
Yeah, he is good looking.
Yeah, it's got a bit of art in there.
Vaguely. Yeah. Go on,
it's a good story,
there's got to be a
though.
deeper reason.
No, it's just an easy watch.
An easy watch.
Yeah, it's
Fair
nice,
enough.
easy watch about love.
Yeah, like I've Red Letter Media had a good discussion about that. They were talking to a lady about what was it? What's Your Number with Anna Faris and Chris Evans, one of these rom-coms, and they were like, only idiots would like the 2 blokes. But yeah, they had their friend with them who's a woman because they said like we need some context. Why do people like these films? And they were like, like these are fucking dumb. I don't get why people like them. And she said pretty much the same thing. She said like sometimes you just want to sit down, watch a story, kind of know how it's going to end, and know that you'll have a nice happy ending and enjoy it. Yeah.
Because when you're at work all day or whatever, or you've been at work all week and it's really stressful or busy, or you've got to use your brain a lot. Sometimes you just want to watch a bit of trash.
I mean, I think there's something that men don't really get. Especially, there's plenty of like dumb films for men. Like, I'd say your standard...
Dumb and Dumber.
Well, it's just a fucking dumb film. But yeah, like a standard action movie like Predator.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, or fucking Die Hard, something like that. Like, those are dumb films. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like we watch them because there'll be action, it'll be exciting.
Yeah. We know what's going to happen, but...
Yeah. Like in the same way a woman would want to watch a romance, I mean, obviously, I'm generalising.
It's something that you want
Some
in
men
life,
like
isn't
that
it?
as well. Yeah, but there's dumb films for men, or aimed at men, and there's dumb films aimed for women.
Yeah.
And I think that falls into that.
I think maybe sometimes it's what people want in life, so they watch them because.
It's fantasy escapism.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of a film.
Yeah.
So I hated it, but I get why someone would enjoy one. And I think just to sort of reduce them down to it's stupid, is a bit reductive.
Yeah.
So, what is your favourite part of The Longest Ride?
Probably the end.
Yeah.
I would say where he spoiler by the way where he if you haven't watched it.
No one's gonna watch this.
They might watch it.
Okay, they might. Yeah.
Many people have watched it. Obviously, it's by Nicholas Sparks.
Well, she wrote the book.
He wrote the book.
Nicholas Sparks. A man wrote this book.
Yeah.
Christ,
And he wrote the last song.
That guy's a fucking genius.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Wish I could write stuff like that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so it's at the end of the film, and they've been invited to an auction of all the art that this man and his wife have collected over the years, and obviously it's worth millions. And he buys a painting that isn't very pretty for $600 because he gets why she likes art. Well, he doesn't get why she likes art, but he wants to please her. So he buys her the piece of art, and then obviously he buys the rest of the collection. And
yeah, I submit the ending's pretty neat. It all comes together, and
it's a nice ending.
Yeah, it's a happy ending. Everyone likes a happy ending.
Definitely.
Even as someone as cynical as me can enjoy a nice, happy Hollywood ending. So who would you recommend this film to, and why? I think, not to speak for you, but I think I'm pretty sure what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
You'd recommend it to ladies.
Yes, ladies, young teenage girls, maybe.
Yeah, I think the choice of actors for the two leads was definitely aimed at the teenage market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say you're 18, maybe year olds to. I don't know, anybody who wants to watch a nice rom-com, really. It's not one of the classics, I suppose.
It's also not a rom-com. It's not funny.
No, it's more of a romance.
Like Knocked Up is a rom-com.
Oh, yeah.
Or Bridget Jones's Diary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a romance for her. It's not,
romance.
Yeah. There's no bits that made me laugh except occasionally at some of the shots and dialogue.
Maybe just a romance to any ladies out there. Or men who fancy that.
There must be some men out there who enjoy these films. Yeah. Yeah. Not me, but I'm not every man.
Yeah.
Not like you're...
By the way, if you're a bloke going out with a woman and you listen to this, you can probably say you've watched it and then you'll get some brownie points.
Yeah, because I'm going to break it down in forensic detail with drum roll. It's Pete's pros and cons list. So, I'll do compliment sandwich style. I'll have to...
You haven't got many compliments
grab
there.
a few cons at a time. But, firstly, it opens with bull riding scenes.
Yes, they're very good, aren't they?
I must say, anytime there is bull riding, it is brilliantly shot. And exactly what you would expect. Like, if a film was about bull riding and it was all shot like that, you'd be like, fuck, that was a good film about bull riding.
Yeah.
But sadly, there's not enough bull riding.
No.
Maybe
not.
So, and then to go to cons, at the start, I was like, oh, this is going to be really punishing all the way through. But it's not. The script isn't too bad, but it does do some ham-fisted bits of exposition at the start. She's literally like, her friend walks into her room with the cowboy boots to take her to the rodeo.
Yeah, that's what Americans do, isn't it?
You haven't. It's your last year. It's your senior year, and all you do is study. But your grades are exceptionally high, and you can have some time off to enjoy yourself. It's like actual dialogue. Like no one talks to someone like that.
Well, I don't know.
You'd walk in and go, "Oh, come on, have some fun. Your grades are exceptionally high. It's your senior year." But,
maybe not, but
no, it's just bad script writing.
Yeah,
but, we can gloss over that.
Definitely.
As well. When he comes to pick her up for their date.
Oh, yeah, he parks miles away.
Well, he parks miles away and walks through the college dressed as a cowboy. But, that's to show... That's not bad, you see, because that shows that he doesn't fit into her world.
Yeah, you
So
see, that's what they were going for there.
What they're doing there is show, don't tell. Even though they do tell constantly by the woman always going, we're from different worlds, like every 5 fucking minutes. But they do a bit of show to begin with. So the director knew what he was doing, but the scriptwriter was fucking shit. I'm guessing that was Nicholas Sparks.
No, because they adapt it, don't they?
Yeah, but sometimes the writer gets involved. But what I liked when he went to the sorority house is that she appeared to live on the set of a softcore porn film.
They were all in PJs, weren't they? In the middle of the day.
Everyone in the sorority is incredibly beautiful and walks around in hot pants and low-cut tops at all times.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I was like, who is that for? Because men are, I mean, that's not going to engage a man.
Maybe it's for some girls to aspire to. I don't know.
I just think it makes women feel bad. You know, you could have a few normal-looking women in there.
Yeah, because generally when you're going to watch this movie, you're probably going to eat a tub of ice cream. So
yeah, and like, you know, obviously, yeah, if you're watching a Hollywood romance film, 2 leads got to be good-looking people. But I mean, you can have supporting characters that aren't all like incredibly gorgeous.
Maybe they just had a lot of people wanting to do it.
Slack, beautiful women
hanging about.
Yeah. Yeah, what I never got the whole way through, right? This is a big point. Like, why do they like each other? What's the attraction apart from the physical attraction? But then they stay together forever. He treats her
like a lady.
Is that it? Like,
no, he obviously loves her. Sometimes.
Yeah, but him loving her isn't like, I don't get what attracts them to stay together. I get why they're physically attracted to each other, like why they'd want to just meet and have sex. But like, you don't see any reason for them to fall in love.
What, you mean they don't hang out, like as in go to a gig or?
No, like they don't seem to have anything in common. They don't really have that conversation where they connect in the film at any point.
That was at the beginning, wasn't it?
When? What?
Where he met her at the ranch.
Meets her in the car park.
No.
It just
she
seems
gives
like
him her hat. He gives her his hat.
Yeah, but that's like a love at first sight thing. That doesn't really exist.
Maybe they just love each other.
You can't just love someone.
Maybe they just nice to each other and.
Anyway, it just seems like they fall in love out of convenience to make the story work.
To who though? They wouldn't be together if they didn't want to be together.
Yeah, but you know they are also very young. Maybe she's just really, really wants to have sex with him all the time.
Yeah, but then at the end they're together in the end because they're both old together.
Yeah, I didn't buy it, and that's why I couldn't get into it. So like, I don't know. Like this is 40, so.
Yeah.
Like, they're the 2 people that have been together for a long time.
Yeah.
And you kind of understand where they fit into each other's lives.
Yeah. But that's a different kind of love. There's, like, different kinds, isn't there?
Yeah, but that's the point you end up with love, you know.
Yeah, but some people just fall in love and they stay in love, even though they haven't got much in common. Some people are just like that.
I suppose.
Some people just...
Yeah.
Don't have to do a lot.
For me, it was like someone had fed the words love story into some kind of high-tech supercomputer and this film came out. It's like, someone went, right, the object of this story is for these 2 people who are from different worlds to be together at the end.
Okay.
And it was just like, they wrote all the, like a story that makes sense. All the pieces are in place.
Yeah.
To get to the ending, but they never explain why. It's just how.
Maybe they just love each other.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it, are you just sticking with me because you just love me? Well, anyway, time for another positive. Like I said, right.
Have you done a few negatives? Because you've only got like 3 positives there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, not be completely negative the whole way through. I kind of touched on this a second ago. The script is good, it's solid. Like, apart from, I'll get to the flashback sections in a second, but
without the flashback.
Yeah, without the flashback. Like, I mean, you could have made the film shorter and just. I know, but it's based off the book, so the flashbacks are part of the book.
Otherwise, there wouldn't be the art scene at the end.
Yeah, but you could have just made a better story about a bull rider meeting like a city girl and them falling in love.
But then it would be like every other
It is like every other love story. It's just got some terribly shot flashback scenes that are glossed over the top.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the script works even though the dialogue's terrible.
Yeah.
But the way the film is structured is exactly kind of how I said. Like, I didn't get everything, all my predictions right. I predicted it would go. I said they'll meet, they'll fall in love, they'll be happy for a bit, then there'll be some kind of jeopardy and they'll break up, and then at the end they'll get together. That's exactly what happened, because that's how you write a romance script.
Exactly.
Yeah, and yeah, as we talked about last week, save the cat moment where you got to like the guy, so he's got to do something heroic.
Yes.
Saves the old man from the car.
Exactly.
In the first scene, so you like him all the way through.
Yep.
And there
He's
you go.
a good egg.
That's someone
with
clearly.
A good butt.
The scriptwriter read a scriptwriting book, a screenwriting textbook. They got everything in the right place. So take my hat off to them for that. Right. So time to talk about the flashback scenes.
I don't think you should dwell too much on them.
I think we should, because they were god awful. The two actors that were in them throughout were terrible. I mean, he was good in... The guy was from Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
And he was brilliant in that. But, yeah, again, like, it's a
but he's playing a man in a romance film. There's not much leeway to be...
It's a bad script.
Like, it's not much artistic license.
Yeah. Like, I liked how the first one, just in case you couldn't work out it was taking place in the past, was initially black and white and then stopped being black and white. Everything is just...
I like those bits.
It was so cheap, all of it as well. Like, it seemed like they spent all the money on the bits set in the present day.
Yeah, but it was the 1940s or something, 20s, wasn't it?
Not when it looked like they'd made it in the 1950s. Like, they actually
that's
gone
when
back
they
in
met.
time. Yeah, it's set in the 50s.
Yeah.
So it's the Shawshank Redemption. That doesn't look like it was shot in someone's back garden. It was awful.
It's only a little set.
It was. What also pissed me off is when they did a scene set in World War II that looked like it had been shot in someone's front room. Not just really turned down the lights and played lots of sound effects. When he said, "Don't go back out there, man. Panzers are 200 foot away." I was like, you'd be able to see them at that distance. But I went, there's no fucking way we're going to see a tank in this scene. And there wasn't.
There was no tank.
There was
However,
no tank.
It was what happened.
Yeah, so he got shot and he couldn't have kids.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. Oh, yeah, and just some proper ham-fisted stuff in there. I liked, we need to convey that the girl in the flashback scenes is from Germany. So, Honor from Austria. So
I know where you're going with this.
Her Austrian mother comes in and goes, like, in perfect English, "Hello, I am Frieda von Austrian lady. Und this is my daughter."
But that's just how they speak. It's just slang.
Because und is German for and. So she's got perfect English, but she's like, "Oh no, I've forgotten the connective word." Like, I remember the German word und because, like, that means and.
Yeah, but maybe she forgot what and was in
Just suddenly
English.
forgot the word and.
Maybe that's just the way they talk. Maybe she likes to go, "Would you like eggs and bacon?"
And bacon. So that was terrible. And I liked how when the young man in the flashbacks was in love with the girl and he was going to take her a rose in the diner to show her his affections.
Yes.
But then some flash Harry in a suit turns up and he's on a date with her instead. He throws the rose in the bin and he walks away. Immediately it starts raining. So, yeah, that always happens.
Maybe the sprinkler system, come on.
Whenever I'm upset, it always immediately rains.
It's more dramatic.
It's fucking stupid.
Anyway, what's your next one?
Yeah, I said man in the flashback scenes and the girl are bad actors.
She's pretty though, I think.
Yeah, that's not like, it's not an attribute of talent. You're pretty. Stacey Solomon's
I'm
pretty.
rolling my eyes, by the way.
Stacey Solomon's pretty. I wouldn't put her in a film. Yeah, we talked about how bad they are. I did like one of the girls' lines where she said, "Vienna has more artists than Paris." I just thought, that's where Hitler was an artist.
What, in Vienna?
That's where he started.
I didn't know that.
He got rejected from the Vienna Art School and then
Decided to
became a tramp and then became a fucking mass murdering dictator. Shouldn't be too proud of the Vienna art scene in 1940, love.
Thing is, if they'd let him become an artist, he would have loved the world.
He would, yeah, probably.
Not hated it.
I think he was pretty pissed off after World War One. But yeah, just a throwaway bit of dialogue that really made me laugh. Vienna has more artists than Paris. This is 1940. I wouldn't start bragging about Austria in 1940. But anyway, just even in the modern day scenes, there's some really bad bits of writing as well. I just thought, like, when he comes home to see his mum,
yeah,
and she said, "So, Luke, when are you quitting bull riding?"
Well, she's concerned.
Yeah, but it's just to lay it out like that. So it's purely for the viewer. When are you quitting bull riding? You just go, when are you giving it up? We'd know what she was talking about.
Yeah, but some people might not catch on.
It's pandering to the audience.
It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway,
you didn't write the script.
No, I wish I had. I'd have done a better job. So I'll finish with my final positive.
Okay.
Before I touch on, well, I've got to say, yeah, some points that are both positives and negatives.
Okay.
So the bull riding, as I said, the bull riding scenes are brilliant.
Yeah.
I wish there'd been more of those. And I actually, like, despite my cynicism, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
Did you like the meanest bull? He was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, all of that was good.
He should have won an Oscar for
anything
that
involved with the bull riding. But yeah, best person in it were the bulls. They were the best. But I actually like their story set in the modern day was fine. Like, if that, as I said, if that had been a film about a bull rider meeting a girl from the city who wanted to do art, it was about them clashing because they're from different worlds.
Yeah.
They were both fine acting. Their acting was fine. And it seemed like there were two films going on, and like it seemed like the stuff set in the past had been written by somebody else, or it had just been lifted from the book because it was bad. Whereas their stuff I thought was fine. Like, it wasn't perfect. It wouldn't have made.
I haven't read the book, so
I haven't either, obviously.
I don't know what the book was.
So yeah, like if it had just been them two, it wouldn't have been a great film. But it would have been an absolutely fine romance film. You would have watched it and gone, yep, by the numbers, perfect. Yeah. Like, it's good. That's a tick. But there's stuff set in the past was just god awful, and it just takes you out of the film. It makes the film too long, and it's just boring.
What are your good and bad points?
Alan Alda, isn't it? I love Alan Alda. He's a great actor. He's the old man.
Oh, yeah. He's
criminally
nice.
Underused. Like,
he's only meant to play an older man, isn't he?
I think they got him by saying you're going to be sat down or laying in a bed throughout the entire film.
All right, then.
I can get on board with this. Yeah, I'll do it. And also, you don't really have to act. You just have to read stuff off a bit of paper. Yeah, I've talked about the horrible scene set in the wall because it's cheap. And yeah, like, they were just punishing the flashbacks. The film could have been 30 minutes shorter.
These aren't really good and bad points. These are just bad points.
Yeah, but I think they're positives because I can say ways they could have been better. Right. I mean, what you could have done is had Alan Alda and another good old female actress sort of like sat in their house holding hands so you see how much in love they were, and they could just be like, oh, remember when this happened? And you could have like brief flashbacks.
Poignant because she's dead. His wife is dead.
Yeah, you could have her die later on in the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, my turn.
That is the longest ride. Fighting over the notebook.
You can't look at what I've written because you can't read it.
You need my interview format first.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yes. So the next film we watched. Well, I'll hand you over to Fran.
Hello everyone. Now we're going to talk about, what was it called?
We watched
Top Secret.
Top Secret by the Zucker brothers.
Beep, 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 beep.
By the Zucker brothers, who directed Airplane and a number of other.
I like Airplane
classic
though.
Airplane.
Anyway. So, firstly, why did you choose this film? Why did you think I would hate it?
Well, I chose this film because I knew I would absolutely love it. I knew I would laugh continuously throughout it.
You nearly did.
I pretty much did. I chose it because it's by the Zuckers, who have created almost all of my favourite comedies and spawned lots of copycat films, which I've also loved. Films like Spy Hard, Hot Shots 2, films like that.
Yep.
And I knew you would hate it because again,
Hate's a strong word.
I know you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, that's the
again, and not to generalise because I know there's a lot of women that do like it, but I would say in general, any woman that I've watched or has been near me while a Zucker film has been on has just been perplexed and confused and just going, why is this funny all the way through? And I would say, especially as time has passed since they've been made, comedy's changed a lot. People do not make films like that anymore, which for me is criminally wrong because to me that is...
It's just stupid humour.
That's what women always say.
Shut up. Right.
Right. Yeah, I knew you would hate it because of the way their comedy is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Describe the film for me, please.
The film is very simple because it's a comedy film.
And stupid.
It's not stupid. It's clever. So essentially, yeah, it's set just after the end of the Second World War. The Russians, so early Cold War period. In East Germany, there are some Nazis who obviously want to get the Nazi party going again. So they kidnap a scientist who has created a device, a massive magnet that will grab all of NATO's submarines. And to distract the world before they do that, they are going to hold a big cultural event.
Yes.
In which they've invited singers and artists and ballet dancers from all over the world, including Val Kilmer's character, Nick Rivers, who's a popular American pop star. So Nick Rivers is on his way to the cultural event and he gets embroiled in the resistance movement that's attempting to free the captured scientist from the Nazis. And that is the film. Obviously, they are successful in that endeavour.
Yes.
Yes.
There's also a bit of romance in there, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
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 There's a subplot, where he meets a girl, the daughter of the scientist, and they fall in love.
So, Peter.
Pete will do fine. Only my mother calls me Peter.
Why do you like it?
Why do I like it? For me,
3 points, 3 words.
What? We can't do it in 3 words.
You can.
It is funny.
Go on then.
That for me is pure comedy. The way the Zuckers do it, it's just joke after joke after joke after joke. They have 15 rules for comedy, which I'd love to read out, but it would take a very long time.
Yeah.
But essentially, they say there should always be something funny happening during a comedy, which I could not agree more with. If someone's delivering like a bit of exposition or something kind of dull needs to happen, in the background something funny will be happening. If something important's happening in the background, in the foreground something funny will be happening. And I know for some people that is an incredibly taxing way of watching comedy. They want a bit more of a gap between the jokes, whereas I love it. It's just constant joke after joke after joke.
Maybe if you're more intelligent or you have that sort of witty humour in your mind that you work
That's what I mean.
at all the time, then you'll get the film a bit more.
People call it stupid
it's
or
not
puerile,
stupid.
But yeah, you want to write a 2-hour film, an hour and a half of fucking constant comedy. Good luck making that funny. Yeah. I mean, there'll be the odd joke that won't quite land. But it won't matter. Because 2 seconds after that joke, there's another joke and it will be funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it is genius, I have to say. Pete, what's your favourite part of the film?
The best part of the film.
I want to see which one you pick because I know which one I would pick.
There are so many, but for me, it has to be Omar Sharif, who is like a classical actor. He was in Lawrence of Arabia, loads of great films.
Yeah.
He plays this British spy who is captured, put into a taxi cab, and his taxi cab is then crushed in a large car crusher. And then a few scenes later, he has to come back to deliver some secret plans to someone. The hotel room door opens, and there's just Omar Sharif's face poking out of like a cube of metal, and these tiny little legs.
By the way, he rewound this twice.
Once.
Once.
If you've never seen Top Secret by the Zuckers, you'll be able to find that scene on YouTube. Watch it. Even without the context, just watching Omar Sharif's face in that cube
and his eyes
is just fucking hilarious. Yes, that's my favourite part.
You nearly wet yourself. So
yeah.
Who would you recommend this film to and why? I don't think anybody in your family would get it.
Oh, my dad introduced me to these.
Your dad would? Which
says, a lot about it. I'd say if you're like... If you think The Hangover or the Hangover films are comedy genius, you will hate this. Like, if you like a bit more of a slow burn to your comedy, you won't like it. If you like old style comedies, especially old British comedies, because I think they take a lot of their humour from old sort of sitcoms from Britain, things like that. There's a lot of sight gags, which are definitely out of fashion these days. No one does that kind of thing anymore. I think the last sort of film like this that came out was probably Spy Hard with Leslie Nielsen. But if you like the Austin Powers films, things like that.
I like Austin Powers.
But I think there's they borrow a lot of humour from those, but it's a bit less. It's not quite at that frantic pace that the Zucker films are at. If you love Airplane and you haven't seen Top Secret, you'll love Top Secret. So I'd recommend it to fans of any Zucker comedy. Fans of comedies where it's you think it's not clever, but that's for me is the cleverest comedy you can do, where you're writing things like that, structuring scenes in the way that they do.
Okay.
If you love film and cinema, then you will love Zucker comedies.
Okay. So now, trombone, please.
It's Fran's pros and cons.
So, firstly, I'll start with a good one. I do think all the singing in the movie was very good.
Val Kilmer has a lovely voice, as we saw in Top Gun.
Even the bits where he changes Elvis Presley songs.
Yeah, but he's essentially playing Elvis Presley.
I know.
Yeah.
Is he?
He's like a kind of Elvis Presley / the Beach Boys. Because they take the piss out of the Beach Boys at the start.
Yeah, at the start,
Yeah, with skeet shoot surfing.
Yeah,
which,
I like that.
That was a brilliant scene on its own.
I know, it was good. I have to say, that was a good scene.
Yeah.
Then we go to a con. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do think it was funny. However, like, if you weren't paying attention, you would miss this. A man trying to catch a tree that was moving.
But that was set up. Because he was... Well, Val Kilmer was trying to paint the scenery out of the train window.
I know.
Because he's seeing it from the train window, so his painting's all blurry. And then they reach a German checkpoint. But the checkpoint is just a train going past them.
Yeah, because the train stopped.
So he looks out the window again and the trees are moving by themselves. And there's a man chasing it, like he would chase a train.
The train isn't moving anywhere.
The train is moving, but so is everything else. It's a sight gag. It's funny.
It's funny.
But you didn't find it funny.
No.
Yeah, and that's what I mean though. Like one joke there are a few jokes for me. Like I'm just like, oh yeah, wasn't that funny? But then within 2 seconds, something else has happened that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's with the Pac-Man game in it?
Again,
because that was not funny. And what was the point of it?
It doesn't have to be a point to a joke. Sometimes something can just be funny.
Yeah, but it's just Pac-Man running around.
Yeah, but what's Pac-Man doing in a film? It's crazy.
All right then.
Yeah, like I get that because there's certain say there's certain stand-up comedians, Noel Fielding stand-up. A lot of people just go, "Oh, it's just him going like, hey, what would it be like if you had like cheese for hands, things like that."
Yeah, but I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Hands.
Yeah, there you go. So you think, it makes you think, and then the images you create from that are funny. Like when he's like, "Hey, there's a dead gorilla in the ice rink." He used rented skates. Yeah, not for everyone, and any kind of absurdist humour. Well, some of us going, "Well, I don't get it. What doesn't make any sense." And it doesn't. So if you don't find the absurd funny, you'll miss it, and you won't enjoy that joke, which is fine. I think you don't have to.
That's probably going to be what my next point is.
Yeah, but you don't have to get every joke.
No,
and you don't have to enjoy every bit of comedy. Like, there's a lot of comedy I don't like. Yeah. Like Mrs. Brown's Boys, for example, I think is fucking shit.
But some people like it.
A lot of people love it. It's on its 7th series or something like that. Yeah. It's still on BBC One during prime time. It's obviously a lot of people like Mrs. Brown's Boys, and good luck to them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything is shit. No comedy is shit.
It depends what you like.
Yeah. Obviously, if I don't like it, I'll say it's shit. But that doesn't mean it's shit.
Okay. My next point then.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't got many pros, so we'll just do all the cons and then I'll end.
Do what I did, the compliment sandwich. Do a few cons.
Well,
do a pro.
I'll have to do all my cons because I've only got one more good thing.
2 pros out of the whole thing.
Yeah, because they were all together. They were about one scene. But anyway.
Okay.
So, the suit. He obviously hasn't got a suit.
How is that not funny?
So then he gets naked and comes out with a suit on.
So they won't let him into the restaurant because he isn't wearing a suit. So that's more of an American thing, to be fair.
Yeah.
Certain restaurants in America, they won't let you in without a jacket and tie. So what happens in an American restaurant is they have like a cupboard full of old jackets and ties, and they just give them to you. You put them on, and you can sit in the restaurant and you give them back when you leave. The whole gag there was Val Kilmer goes off to like what you would think they'll give him a tie and a jacket, but in the background as the Germans come in looking for him, he's getting like measured for a full tuxedo.
So he misses being captured, you see.
Well, yeah, and again, this is a Zucker thing because what's happening while you see Val Kilmer in the background being measured for his suit and him, the guy making the suit, the Germans are talking to the guy, and a lot of the plot is explained while that's happening. Yeah. So you're still getting a joke.
But I got distracted from the plot because I was looking at Val Kilmer and his
the point of it is the plot is very simple and it doesn't really matter if you miss things because you know what's going on.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, I was on Instagram a bit.
Yeah, I kept telling you off for looking at your phone because I sat through the longest ride.
And then, this is the next bit after he gets his suit. Mm-hmm. What is the point of the man with the monophone thing? Where he reads aloud his letter saying he's not going to be there and then he turns up anyway.
I'm not going to have to explain every joke in the film about it.
No.
So Val Kilmer, he's left him a letter saying, there's a letter on the table, but you don't actually know it's from his agent. But so you hear the guy's voice in what is normally like, you hear the guy's voice in your mind.
Yeah, like
you think, you're hearing it as Val Kilmer's thinking it, like in the guy's voice. Yeah, like a voiceover. But then the guy comes into shot talking into a megaphone because he's lost his voice.
Yeah.
So he's using the megaphone because his voice is strange.
Oh, okay, I get that. Anyway, right. My next one is the spy man. Oh yeah, so you know when he comes in and he's obviously been squished in the car thing.
Yeah.
If that was like real, he would have died.
That's why it's funny.
Okay, and then my last point, which is kind of like not a bad point. It's like a, why is the long lost love of hers very greasy?
You were very distracted by the fact that he was greasy.
Why was he greasy though?
Because he's all got a good figure and everything, so they greased him up to make him look all sexy.
But that's not attractive.
That's another point, is that the guy isn't very attractive.
He's got that weird hair.
He's got funny hair and a stupid like posh thin face. Yeah, he's not an attractive guy. That's kind of another gag, really.
What I did like was the scarecrow at the end.
Yeah.
And I also liked the little catch-up thing they had at the end. And where they said it's a bad movie, but I didn't agree with that.
Who said it was a bad film?
They said it was a bad film.
Who did?
The two of them together, the two lovers. They say that they give a overview of the film and they go, "Oh, that's a bad movie, isn't it?"
Oh yeah, and that's a Zucker trope. Like they break the fourth wall a lot. If you're ever struggling for a gag, like you do that a lot in improv. You'll you'll joke, like what you would do is dig yourself out if things aren't going very well.
What I also liked
criticize your own performance and like sort of sabotage the scene a little bit by going, "Hey, isn't this shit?" And that'll get a laugh out of the audience.
I did like the pew 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 scene where the noughts and crosses.
Yeah, the gunfight scene where they're surrounded.
Good, and the little man was jumping up and shooting out the top. Pew pew.
I would also say my second favourite bit, which I think needs to be pointed out, when he says, "Oh, I don't speak much German," and the girl says, "Oh yes, I only know a little German too." And she goes, "He's sitting over there," and there's just like a really small man wearing lederhosen.
I forgot about that.
I just loved how delighted he was that she'd pointed to him, and he's like waving his hat.
Yeah, pretty lady's pointed at me.
He's just so happy.
Right then.
Yeah, so that was the longest ride and Top Secret. I would obviously recommend Top Secret to everyone.
I wouldn't, but yeah.
Well, no, I wouldn't recommend it to everyone because, if you don't like that kind of humour, you'll be bored. Same as I knew you would be, because it's just so relentless. That if if you like a bit of a slower burn in your comedy, you'll hate it.
Yeah.
And in the same way, I wouldn't like The Longest Ride.
No. Next time I'm going to do Cinderella.
Well, yeah, we might do another one of these. Movies. One we don't like, one we like. I think that's a good little format.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, lots to discuss.
Yeah.
But yeah, if not, then we'll watch another one that we both like.
Yeah, and do another little review if people want to join in.
We got some big stuff coming out of the cinema soon, so we might do another
Captain Marvel.
one of our legendary drunken reviews, full of spoilers. Not next week's episode. Not really decided what we're going to do yet.
No.
But it will be something similar.
It will be good.
It will be us talking about an old film or a new film. Yeah, big thanks to the people that are listening.
Yes.
And especially, I'm assuming, the one person in the Michigan area of the United States who has listened to every single one of our podcasts.
Oh, thank you very much.
We would also be interested to know what kind of person you are. I'm just fascinated by
I'm on Instagram if you want to
do that. You can follow us on Twitter. What's your Instagram?
Francis Langhout. Yeah. Very unoriginal.
Yeah, on Twitter I am Pete Langhout, capital P, capital L, Langhelt. If you're not already following us, I'm assuming you found out about the podcast from Twitter, so I'm guessing you probably already follow me. Leave comments on the podcast. As I said, we'd love to know what an American audience thinks of what we do. So, again, thanks to everyone who listens, and we will see you. Well, we won't see you, and you won't see us.
What's the YouTube thing? You need to say that.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. Pete and Fran Langhout.
That's it.
Yeah,
oh, right.
That's our YouTube channel. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes.
Oh.
We're on Acast.
I didn't know about any of that.
We're on all sorts of mediums. And we've got a listener in Canada. We've got a listener in Michigan area of the United States.
All right.
We've got 10 to 15 listeners.
I feel famous already.
In the United Kingdom. I guess everyone who's listened in the United Kingdom is someone we know. There'll also be this week.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Please keep listening. Please tell us if you'd like us to watch a particular film. We'll do that.
Yes, we will.
And also, there'll be another episode of Investigations of the Oddly Strange up this week. And I am organising a sketch show as well. I've had some submissions from some talented writers in the United Kingdom. If you'd like to send a sketch, please send one to petelanghout30@gmail.com. And look forward to the sketch show. That's it for this week. Thanks very much for listening, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye 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 bye.